So what do you do when, like you said, Kathy, for example, when your love language changes? Do you like communicate that with them, or do they just start picking up that like, oh, wow, she's really loving lately that I'm transitioning how I'm showing my love?
No, I think most people are dense.
Well, that's why I was asking
Really?
when you have the
Especially
conversation.
men.
They're so
I was trying to
oblivious.
be nice by saying people.
Welcome to Women Rising St. Louis with Ashley Nordman, Gabriela Ramirez Ariano, Haley Angelica, Erica Johnson, Elizabeth Tucker, Caitlin Milkey, Kathy Helbig-Strick, and Aaron Kramer. Watch us now.
Welcome back to Women Rising St. Louis. Today we're going to talk about love languages and relationships.
Do we all know what the five love languages?
Oh yeah, that's a great
Let's
idea.
talk about what they are.
Yes.
You want me to list them? I can.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
List them off.
So there is words of affirmation, right?
Yep.
Quality time.
Yep.
Right. Acts of service.
Yes.
Gifts and physical touch.
Right.
So those are the five main love languages.
And it's based on a book. If you haven't read it, you should definitely check out this book
Mhm.
because it's not only for relationships, but it's also for friendships, for
Family
work
members.
relationships,
Yeah.
family members. And did you know your love language can be different depending on your situation?
Oh, yes.
Like different
100%.
relationships.
Yeah, like love languages for work might be different than your love language for your relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Even in the time of life that you're in, like your love languages changes because mine was
100%.
totally gifting and then acts of service.
Mhm.
And now that I'm like older and more mature, it's definitely physical touch.
And love language is not just how you want to receive it, but it's also how you give it. Like you
Yeah.
are skilled in how you give your love, and that includes what kind of love language, and that could be different. So you might like to experience physical touch, but you're really good at giving acts of service, you know?
Yeah.
So it might be different. So it's
But
really
when you
cool
say
to study it.
A lot of the time, it's probably you mirror what your own love language is.
See, mine
Yours are different.
are different. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, is it
Yeah.
like I like what I like to what I receive is different than what I give.
Okay, so
What
I
are
feel
yours?
the same.
What
What
are
are
yours?
yours? Yeah.
I words of affirmation for me is
But
like
you receive. You want to receive.
that's what I want to receive.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like
Mhm.
what fills me up the most.
Mhm.
Same.
But then I'm a big gift giver.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So I was
am
going to say the
too.
same.
Yeah.
Words of affirmation is definitely mine.
Mhm.
And I also think, just to explain that, I think there's sometimes a little bit of confusion on it. I think people, when they hear that, they might think like, oh, you just want attention and you just want to hear compliments all the time. But I don't actually think that that's really...
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That's
Great. That.
Yeah, that's not all that words of affirmation
No.
is. It could
Right.
be, you're a really good mother.
Yeah.
That is words
Yeah.
of
It's
affirmation
recognizing
for
and
me.
noticing
Yeah.
the things
It's
about you.
yeah.
That,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
I think that it's intentional communication is
Yeah.
really like the way I can say it, and saying you're a great mom or saying you're
I love
proud.
that intentional communication.
Mhm.
Yes, that's the
Yeah.
best way. And I think for me personally, when I grew up, I wouldn't always maybe hear it. And so as I got older, it's like what I crave.
Yeah.
But when I'm giving my love language, I think mine would probably be more gift giving or acts of service. So it's not necessarily words of affirmation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I feel like a lot of women are acts of service because that's kind of like a traditional role we've all
Yeah.
taken on just like naturally, you know. I know for me it's that way. I like doing acts.
Like Erica said, I do believe that it changes. It can change with the seasons you're in. So my first husband, Blake, he liked to receive quality time. So he really liked to, hang out with me, spend extra time with me. But then my current husband, Jacob, he's physical touch. So it's really important, I think, whenever I'm talking about the love languages, is to recognize what the other person likes to receive. And then you have to actively work on giving that love language. Even if you're really good at, acts of service, but your person likes quality time, it's really important to, really work on giving that person what
Is
they
that a
need.
challenge for any of you with your partners? Because I
Yes.
know for me it is, because my husband and mine are opposite. So like
Really?
there was a chart.
Yes.
Ours is
Yes.
flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And so his is words of affirmation, acts of service, whereas mine is quality time. And, so it's very hard for me to learn to, tell him like, wow, you did a great job.
Yes.
On the dishes. You should freaking dishes.
So, how did you ask them, or how did you have the conversation? Because I think it might be easier with our partners, but like with friends, how do you say, well, Kathy, I'm this, so I want you to treat me, a certain way.
think
How
it's-
do you have the conversation?
I think it's an easy, like, hey, I'm just curious. What's your love language?
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it.
I love
Yeah.
such and such, because
It's investing
if you
in your
think
friends.
about it,
It
if you
is,
really
yeah.
just break it down, it's called love language. So language is how we communicate, how we hear, how we speak. So if we're speaking two different languages, you're speaking Chinese and I'm speaking Russian, we don't know what each other's saying.
Yeah.
Right?
And
So
all that's going to happen is
simple.
frustration from that.
That's right.
Exactly.
So when you go, hey, let's line up our language communication so that we each hear each other a little bit better. And we all have to work on it, because if it's not our natural outgoing language, we have to retrain ourselves.
And I think this is a great takeaway, because as we probably just don't even think about this sometimes when we make new friends, maybe. And it's important to now maybe consider, like, that's a good question to ask somebody when you're developing a friendship.
Yes.
And I have a friend, I've been friends with her now for probably 6 years, but recently, like maybe a year ago, she randomly was voice messaging me one day. And she goes, Ashley, you have no idea how much it means to me that you just acknowledged that and gave me that praise. She's like, I am such a words girl. Like, I just need to hear it from you. And I was like, I'm so glad you're telling me this, but I wish I knew this like 2 years ago, because I didn't realize how much it mattered.
I remember conversations about the friendship, and they basically felt like I wasn't as good of a friend as them because they invested more time in like doing the texting or like, hey, when you get together and like all that stuff. And because I was busy, they weren't career women, so they had more time. And so I wasn't able to match their time. I was giving acts of service. I was like, gifts, paying for things,
But you
like
weren't
doing
speaking
all the
that
things.
love language they wanted.
But that wasn't there. And so to me, I'm like, oh, how dare you think I'm not a good friend?
And
I've done all these things for you.
And
right?
when people don't understand love languages, that's going to be frustrating for them. They're going to see you as a bad friend.
And
But really, it's not.
I wonder if this is like a reason that people end up having conflict then, because they feel like they're not getting the respect they want or something.
100%.
They're just feeling appreciated.
Appreciation because of the way you
resentment
navigate it.
builds up. And they say 80% of people have a mismatched love language.
Really?
Wow.
Like couples or friendships? Was that couples?
Yeah.
You mean ones
feel
that aren't the same.
They are not the same.
Right.
Correct.
And I think it's totally fine to not be the same,
Sure.
as long as you understand what each other needs.
And you actively work.
And you and you make sure you try to fulfill what your partner needs.
But that's just it, having to like do the active work, because also often people aren't willing to do that, and then people start outsourcing for it, and that becomes dangerous.
Yes.
Right.
Now it's acts of service again. Like I've come back around to, I'm so busy. And like when you take the dogs out instead of me, like that means so much to me, because
I think it's a lot what Caitlin said earlier. It's like if you aren't getting something, you start to crave that one. And then if you've gotten so much of something,
you don't want that then.
Well, it just doesn't feel as like big or important anymore because you're getting so much of it.
Exactly.
And so I'm sure like we all said, like they kind of change.
They
go
do
in cycles
change,
based on relationships or stages in life or just whatever's going on.
And with the words of affirmation, for me, it's almost hard for me to receive them because it's like I'm embarrassed. Like, okay, thank you. Like, okay, I'm good. Like,
not me. I'm like,
and it can become a lot for me.
I feel like in general, it's hard to take a compliment.
Yes.
You know, but whenever someone says, "Oh my God, I love your shoes," these old things.
I know.
These old things.
Thanks, $3.
Bought up last week.
Exactly. No,
That's me, Gabriella. Like I love words of affirmation, but I'm also like an awkward compliment receiver. Like I love it internally for me and it like fills me, but I'm awkward in my response back. I'm like, oh no, like, and then I feel like I must compliment back and it's like an awkward thing. Like,
I'm so awkward.
But it does fill me up. So it's like a weird, it's like a weird combo of like, it fills me, but I'm awkward.
I'm very awkward.
The other thing I've noticed about myself on the words of affirmation thing is it's so hard for me when you're dealing with somebody, whether it's work, friend, spouse, because most people still kind of like words of affirmation a little bit, to give that when there's some things hanging out there that you're not happy about, because then it's like that stuff doesn't matter and we're moving on to all the great things about you. So it's like the tug of war of like, yes, you're great, but
So is that the love language that you struggle with giving other people?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because I think I'm like this perfectionist type thing. So it's like, no, we got to check these boxes over here before we can go,
Yeah, we need it finished before
There's
we
so
get it
much-
on.
We should be
Yeah.
talking about giving the compliment, like, oh, you did the dishes. We should not
Yes.
be patting them on the back for doing dishes.
Yeah, but see, some
That's the
people need
understood
it.
sign.
Yeah, but it's
Oh my
almost like
God.
they need those micro
They
compliments
do.
to like
My husband
build their
does.
ego.
Okay, well, some of you ladies have been in like long-term relationships at this point, right?
Mhm.
So what do you do when, like you said, Kathy, for example, when your love language changes? Do you like communicate that with them, or do they just start picking up that like, oh wow, she's really loving lately that I'm
Mhm.
transitioning how I'm showing my love?
No, I think most people are dense to
Well, that's why I was asking
Really?
when you have the
especially men.
conversation.
They're so
I was trying to be
oblivious.
nice by saying people.
You should say most men.
Let's be
Most men.
honest,
There are
Kathy.
some very emotional men.
Most
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But yes, and all of us can be a little dense to each other's changes in languages, especially it isn't fair to say for 15 years I've been this, and then all of a sudden I'm like, no, I'm that, and you don't say it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So
Maybe
how
just
do you
having a
like
conversation?
Yeah.
I don't think you do this like
sit
tell
down?
me about your love language
Yeah.
now.
Has it adjusted?
Yeah, I don't think it's like that. I
Yeah.
think it's just good, like check in with your spouse.
Yes.
Like,
Well,
you're just
see.
paying attention to like what you do, and they light up.
Like
I
the
was going to
feedback.
say, what
Yeah,
are they
yeah.
reacting
The
to?
feedback that you're getting without them expressing the
Yeah.
feedback. Yeah. I think you just do check-ins like, hey, how you doing? Like, I'm just checking in. Like, how are you feeling with like career, family life? Like, if you can do little check-ins like that, you can get a read on people.
Yeah,
And
I
what
agree.
they're missing and what they're needing and where they're, you know.
And sometimes it's just like where their life is. Like I know my
Yeah.
boyfriend, for example, right now is swamped in his career, and I can tell like if I come over and the sink is full of dishes, I'll just do the dishes, and I can tell it takes a huge weight off his shoulders.
Right.
And that right now might just be his love language is acts of service.
Yeah.
But then,
Exactly.
you know, later down the road when work's not as crazy, maybe it's something different.
I think it's really interesting because for me personally, my love language with my husband is a lot different than my love language with, let's say, my sister. So my sister, she really flourishes in words of affirmation, but in card form. Like she really likes getting cards for her birthday and for different celebrations, and she likes them to be written in, right? I really struggle with fulfilling that for her. But I work my hardest, but also from my sister, I like to receive quality time, but quality time isn't a love language between me and my husband that I prefer,
Yeah.
really. It's just because she's my sister and I want to just spend time with her.
Yeah.
So I think it's different with the different aspects of relationships that you have. It can be different.
And who the
you know?
person is.
Children, is it the same?
That's what I was
You
just
guys
gonna
are all
say.
mothers, yeah. I'm
We all
not.
learn what it is with our kids, and obviously we all know every kid is unique. I only have one, but for those of you that have multiple kids, do you feel like the love language is different?
Yes.
Yeah.
Between-
I
absolutely.
think
Yeah,
so.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's
Just
more
like-
noticeable in the kids.
Yeah.
They show love a little
Right.
bit easier, I think,
Yeah.
than adults do. So you can definitely tell which one likes this. Like my son loves quality time, but then my 5-year-old daughter, she loves physical touch. So she's always in my lap. She's
That's my
always
son.
cuddling.
Yeah.
That's so it is cool.
Similar for me. Like the other night, I heard my girls were laying in my bed watching a movie, and I heard them starting to argue. So when I was like, "What's going on?" and my younger one was like, "She won't put her arm around me and hold me."
Aw.
And my youngest one is like, if she could wrap her body around you 14 times, like it still wouldn't be enough
Stand.
touch for her.
My daughter's like that too.
She is just such a like lover, cuddler, you know. And my older one is a lover, but she's like,
It's too
I
much.
don't want you to be like
I'm hot.
Like in your
suffocating
bubble.
me,
Yeah.
you know?
Space.
And they
Yeah.
were laying next to each other. So she's like, I'm touching you. But that wasn't enough for her. And I was like, okay, like she deserves a little space, you know?
Yeah.
But then my older one, like loves to organize. So if I go in her room with her and I help her organize, like she will be like, "Mom, thank you so much." So like that's a quality time for her. Like you were doing something that means something to her. So you like any relationship, you get a read on your children. And
Yeah.
it's like,
Learn.
yeah.
And you know
Haley, your
how to-
son's like that a lot. He's like on you. It's so sweet to
oh,
watch
he's
it.
a mommy's boy for
Yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
But his is actually gifts.
Really?
Yeah, but here's the thing that I feel like he is different with me specifically, but his overall, like how he receives love is gifts. So like I'll surprise him every once in a while. He loves Miami Dolphins. So if I see something, I'll like get him a little dolphin thing and I'll put it, on his bed. And then when he gets home, he's like, "Oh my God." I mean, you would think I would have gave him like a whole dirt bike or something. But he like gets so excited. Whereas like my daughter, she'd be like, thanks. Right? Hers is quality time.
Yeah.
So they're so different.
And Haley, I'm wondering, since we talked about human design before,
Yeah.
do you have any insight like on how our love languages align or tied to our human
good
design?
question.
Does that make sense?
I don't know. So as like a whole, like every single design, I'm not 100%, but I do know, like, since I'm a projector and you're a projector and Ashley, I think we're only us three, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so that projectors love like being acknowledged and being recognized. So very
Yes.
much like quality time. Does that track for both of you? Like quality time or
Mhm.
even words of affirmation?
Yeah, those are my
is
two.
big. So
Mhm.
Let me ask you this, because everybody on this couch is not words of affirmation, but would you say that there's still a part of you, no matter what your words of affirmation are, that wants acknowledgement?
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that is human.
Okay.
That is
Yeah,
innately
agreed.
human.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be recognized for something to
something.
some level.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
whether it's something small or it's something bigger. Like, I like it when my mom says she's proud of me, you know, or I like it when Jacob says you're a great mom. So
Yeah.
it just depends. But I don't have to hear it all the time either.
Right.
Like, I don't need to hear that daily.
Well,
But
because then it
once in a
takes
while.
away the depth of the compliment.
Yes, yes.
If every day someone was like,
I want to
"You're
know
a
you
good
thought
mom."
of it.
Yeah.
Like, and you put some thought into
Yeah.
your compliment, you know. So
Well, and the acknowledgement is so important because we're all human, like you said, and so we have doubts. And so just getting that acknowledgement
reassuring.
from an external source, it's like that little confidence boost we need. I was thinking about, was it you, Erica, that asked about our children and our love languages? So for me, I love receiving just like the words of affirmation from my daughter because I struggled so long with the mom guilt and feeling like I wasn't showing up well for her and things like that, just from some trauma I went through. And so every time she tells me she loves me, like it literally just like fills my soul because I'm just like, that's just what I needed, like to just feel like I'm doing the right thing. And so I feel like that's probably why the acknowledgement is so important for us.
Another funny thing I found in the research on this is that millennials have different love languages than what these standard 5 were.
Really?
Oh,
And
what are they?
well, one of them, I can't remember them all. I have to look at my notes.
Is it being
One of
posted
them-
on Instagram?
One
What?
of them
Social
is-
media?
Let me get the exact. I
wanna know.
exact thing.
We need to know.
The more
It's,
time you tag your partner.
Yeah, the
Okay.
most.
So
Okay,
the other one's shared experiences is
Oh.
one, and digital connection.
Oh, gosh.
So being named in a post, being sent a meme,
Okay.
being shared a thing between you because it feels like, oh, they're thinking of me.
it does make sense because
Yeah.
It makes
social
sense
media
like
is
that,
such
but-
a world of confirmation and affirmation for
Yes.
young kids.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
you know, if you anywhere you look, celebrities, influencers, or whatever,
I don't know if I like
they're
it,
tagging
though.
something.
I don't-
It's like
I
not
don't,
in your
I don't like
I don't
it
like
either.
it.
I don't like it because
it.
it doesn't feel like it's in your real life.
No,
Yeah.
that
You
you're
know.
putting your self worth online,
Just
Like,
for
you're-
other
you're-
people to see it, but not how you're actually like really making
So
it.
I
Correct.
see what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying, but I also know like there's times that Steve will see something and it'll be like
Yeah.
a lovey thing and then he'll send it to me and it's like, oh.
It does make you
Yeah.
feel
Like,
good.
oh, you were thinking
So
of
I
it.
see on that side.
I do.
See, but I think
Yeah.
the private stuff is different than the public stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
When
Because
someone's
it's not like
sending you
being
something
tagged with
private, they're not
something.
doing it for everyone to
Right.
see that they've done it.
Yeah.
But where the public stuff sometimes is
It's just for show sometimes.
Who's like
Not
that,
always, but
who,
sometimes.
Who, like, if it's your birthday or anniversary or something, like, who wants your man to
Steve,
post?
yes, he does.
I mean, I like it if Jacob posts, but I don't. In the beginning of our relationship, so I'm really good at posting and like making a long paragraph about our anniversary or whatever. And it's just showing my friends, like, I'm really in love with this man.
Yeah.
I love him
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
happy. And it's really hard for him to put 5 sentences together
He's
without
me.
taking 2 hours to do
He's
it.
me.
Yeah. So he'll like do 2 sentences and it's nothing compared to what I write. But I have learned that's his personality and
Yeah.
that's okay. So I've learned that I'm better at words
Yeah.
than he
Steve
is.
is you. He is me. Thank God for ChatGPT because then I can throw my thoughts
That's
into
cheating. That is
Because
cheating.
I can throw my thoughts into it. Here's my thing. Here's what I'm feeling. Now just make it
Write me a lovey caption.
Yeah, because to me it was the editing of
Write
oh,
me a
I don't
love
like that
caption.
sentence.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Oh my
sound
God,
like
that's
the gist
too
of
cheesy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You are
It's
so
taking
funny.
too long.
That's a new ChatGPT prompt. Write me a love.
Write me a love-
yeah,
love
my
post for
me.
with a love
anniversary.
language of.
Yeah.
If Jacob tried to post something and I
know
could
it.
tell
Absolutely.
AI doing that for him. No.
call. Be like, we can help you out.
Yeah. Okay, you guys will love this. So my husband, I don't know if he's ever posted on my birthday or my anniversary. He is like anti-social media. He has an account, but I don't know if he's gotten on in like years.
That's not a bad thing.
No,
you know,
it's not.
it was his birthday last week, and he said to me, he was like, "For my birthday, I'm asking you, do not make a post about me." Like he wants like anti-social media on everything.
I love it.
So I mean, if people would think, but then he'll write me like a beautiful card.
Yeah.
So
I
like
love that.
the words are there. It's always
Steve is
just
the
in like a
most
very private.
amazing post writer. He like, I'm always like,
That's how I get you at the festival.
How do I follow that?
yes, he's amazing. But he wrote long and stuff. And I'm like, dang it. So now it's going to take me 2 hours. But I love it. That is one of the things about
But it
him
makes
that
sense
really
because
attracts
you
me.
said his
Is
love language was words of affirmation.
Right.
So to him,
But we were
that's
just at
what he
the
wants
lake
to
for
do.
anniversary, and he always writes the most amazing anniversary. And I looked at him, I go, please don't put a post up today. He's like,
Oh my
I go,
gosh.
just don't. Let's just celebrate our anniversary
Yeah.
by ourselves without any attention. I don't want to have to go deal with all the comments. And he's like, okay. And it was the first time we celebrated.
I love it.
Yeah.
Completely
Because
silent.
Can I tell you, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because like, so I've been on social media for like 20 years now, literally. And just with having like a little bit of a following or whatever you want to call it, like I used to think that stuff mattered so much. And with my marriage, like that was we were so public about everything, you know? And I think from that, I learned that in reality, like what I love most is the things that are sacred, that like very few people get to have exposure to.
Yeah.
And so my current relationship, even though it's newer, we've been together probably like 9 months now, but we keep it super private. And I love that about it. And I think a lot of us actually do crave that because we've been in a generation where we've seen everything thrown on social media for so long.
Full circle sometimes.
Yeah. And like now it's almost like we're kind of retreating back to like, we want that
That's
privacy.
kind of the space here now. But I will say, I give Steve credit because he was one of the first guys in our circle, at least, that put his heart on his sleeve publicly.
Yeah.
To the point, but other guys would be like,
And that takes balls.
whatever, you know, like they would think it was weak, right?
Yeah.
And he just like gushed on me.
Men
And I can
love
tell
to see
you
that.
exactly.
Yeah,
Or
to show
see that
emotion.
came
Yeah.
to us because of that, and wanted to be around us, and wanted their relationships to model more like that.
Yeah.
And then I started seeing again, like just in my circles, maybe it's been out there and I didn't have the radar on, but we started seeing more men kind of step up to the occasion and start following that trend of, hey, it's actually more manly.
They found the
to
confidence.
show that I love
because he
my
was
wife
talking.
instead of
and like
acting
vocalize your emotions.
Yeah.
you're the woman.
Billy
Yeah,
just
'cause
sent
they'll
me
post
something
each other.
about that.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I did. I felt like it was like the beginning of this wave change of how men treated their women and acted and spoke publicly about their women.
Yeah.
And he was a great example and leader of that. So I got to give him credit for that. But this year I'm like, just give me this.
Yeah.
Just a little more privacy.
little
You know,
privacy.
that shows that you have really good communication.
Yeah.
So that you were able to tell him, please don't post it.
Yeah.
And he said, okay.
And he got
that's
no
great.
offense.
That's
Right.
healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of what I'm taking away from today's conversation is that, again, and we've said it on so many different episodes about how key communication is. Really understanding ourselves, but also how do we communicate what we want from our partner, our friends, even our kids, right?
And even more so what Caitlin said, intentional communication.
Intentional communication. Yeah.
It's so important.
Because how else are you going to know what your love language is or someone else's without actually having that
And
conversation?
the deliverance really matters. I don't think people realize like tone can truly change and shift the trajectory of a conversation.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
we have to talk to people, especially our mates, not end them. So, and like, sweetheart, we need to have a
I know. One other one I ran across as an additional love language was emotional security.
I love that.
Anybody?
What would
relate
you
to
what
that?
would you define
Yeah.
emotional security?
I think safety. that
Yeah.
you can be who you are. You can be yourself. You can have turbulence.
Let your walls down.
Yeah, and there's still security in that relationship that no one's going anywhere.
That's probably
feel
my
like-
biggest one,
I feel
honestly.
like I've just been who I am with everybody I've been with, and
That's very
if
hard for most
I'm not
women.
with them. That's because they didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's
So-
really
and
hard
I'm
for most
okay with
women,
it.
though.
Yeah.
It really is because everyone tries to put on this like perfect persona because we're scared we won't receive love if we're not perfect.
Yeah.
It's very hard for women to show.
But also
All
being able
the
to
angles
listen
like
too.
that. Yeah.
You know, like communication is super important. Being able to like listen to your partner or your friend or whatever, because there's been times where I can be bullheaded and I'm like, you know, I'm on my own love language. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you need? And then I'm hearing it from my spouse, like, no, I need to hear that you think I'm doing good. And then it changes the game. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, ladies, this was a great conversation. I love talking about love languages. I got to learn a lot about how to show up. So,
Very good.
And thank you so much for tuning in to Women Rising St. Louis. We will see you next time.